Hey, how's it going? I'm Aaron Leach. I'm here to do an interview with James Merrifield. We're in beautiful Newport Beach at the Wedge, so let's do this. Once again, I'm Aaron Leach. I'm out here in beautiful Newport Beach, California with James Merrifield, CEO and founder of ACJ Investment Company. How's it going, James?
Yeah, I'm doing well, Aaron. Thank you for coming here and being with me today. It is a very nice day out here in Newport. Lots of boats right here in the going down into the harbor, out to sea. We got the beautiful Corona del Mar beach scenery right there, right in back of us where we're at right now. So I'm real happy to be here with you today. Once again, thanks for taking the time out to come and talk to me.
Thank you. All right, so tell us about yourself. Who is James Merrifield?
Well, James Merrifield is probably one of the most interesting individuals that you're ever going to meet in all of your life. I'm multiple people. I'm multiple personalities. You know, I'm obviously I've got my own company now. You know, I'm a leader. I'm everything. I'm a father. I'm a role model. I mean, I'm a coach. I mean, there's a lot of things that I do, Aaron. You know that my life is full of content. My context is also very great. But exactly who I am and what I do. Bottom line is, Aaron, like I just want to help people. I think that the real James Merrifield that you really want to get to know, and that's being the real James Merrifield, not anything scripted or unscripted. But I mean, I really want to help people, Aaron. I think there's a lot of people out there right now that are really looking for a solution. You know, they're looking for help, and I want to be that person to help guide those people. Now, I am not saying that I am going to have the answers to everybody's problems, and I'm going to tell people how to live step by step. My my game plan basically is to share my personal experiences with people so that they can identify, and that basically that they can know that there are answers to some of the problems that people are facing today. There are solutions to the things that they're going through. So I mean, that's really my main objective, and I'm really passionate about that. I'm really big on just helping out where I can. There's all sorts of different types of ways to give help. When you help some people, and my way, and I think an area where I specialize once again is just by telling people, just exactly doing things as raw and as organic as I can. Once again, by sharing my personal experiences with them and just helping them understand that no matter what it is that you're going through in life, there is light at the end of that tunnel. My biggest message is that you have to keep on moving. You have to keep on going forward. You have to keep on striving to better yourself. You have to keep on just basically keeping on. Because when you stop your progress, maybe you might have an idea of what it is that you want to do with yourself, or you have an idea, or you have some goals that you want to accomplish. Nothing is ever going to change unless you take action and make it happen and make the changes. So that's where somebody like me is going to come in. Once again, I've been through a lot of things. I have lots of, like I said, I've got lots of content and, that I can share. And, I really believe that I can be a big value, to really, in people, to helping people improve their lives and, and take it a step further and, than where they're at now. Not just a step further, but really, I mean, if you're really interested in helping yourself and improving yourself, that's where guys like me come in, with helping out with with coaching and helping people to move along into the right direction.
All right, so then James, what's your ultimate mission here then? What the dreams and the goals that you want to achieve? What is it you want to do?
Well, I have to say, like, the ultimate mission is obviously to, for me, it's obvious that to help as many people as I can. There are definitely a lot of people out there that need some direction and need some help, and I just really want to reach out to as many people as I can, through my own life experiences, and really help them, to be able to help them navigate their way through life. The reason why I speak so passionately about this, and you're going to find this is one thing that you'll get to know about me, is I've been leading, people for a very long time now, like, in the workplace, outside of the workplace, and I've got over 100 to maybe 130 employees that I oversee at a time. I've also I'm heavily involved in the community, and that involvement basically being from anything from volunteer work to which basically it is all volunteer work. I mean, if you're in any type of community involvement and you're getting paid to do that, kind of shame on you, because I think the main purpose of getting out there and being involved in your community is definitely basically you giving your time. That's really I think that's really important too. You don't see a whole lot of that these days, and even giving time along that line, or for people to think that their lives are too busy and you don't have enough time to give time. I'll definitely take it back to my oldest son. I coached football right here locally in Costa Mesa, for Pop Warner. I also coached as well in this backyard right here in Newport Beach for Newport Beach Junior All-American. These are long days, where my job would require me to be there from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then after 5 p.m. racing home to get kids, or meeting my wife at the park, and staying there till about 8 o'clock, 8:30 at nighttime. I mean, that's just the start of it. I mean, at that point, like, you're even going into overtime when you go home. And what I mean by overtime is, you got to make sure kids are fed. You got to make sure that homework's done. You got to make sure they're showered up, and everybody's ready to to rock and roll the next day. So, I really do know what servant leadership is all about. When I talk about servant leadership, I really mean that as far as putting people before yourself. Like, I've dedicated my life to bettering other people, to helping other people, and staying dedicated to that, and really putting my heart and soul into that. So, for the amount of people in my life that I have to say that I've come across and that I've touched, they're definitely very, very many of them. So, ultimately, like we talked about the goals and the dreams, the real goals are to be the absolute best difference maker that I can be. The absolute best James Merrifield that I can be. Every day, all I'm striving for is to just be the absolute best person that I can possibly be. And at that point, I want to be better. I want to be better than I was yesterday. I really do focus daily on improvement. I think that we all have room for improvement. But I think and granted, yeah, I'm sure just like yourself and you have room for improvement as well, Aaron. And it's a matter of, is Aaron just thinking about it, or is Aaron taking action about it? Because there's a big difference. You can sit there and think your life away, and think about having nice things, and think about having a good life, and think about happiness. But it's another thing to practice those things daily, and make sure that dream, that goal actually becomes your reality. So that takes work, and like I said, that's where guys like me come in. That's where guys like me come in and help other people that are seeking that same kind of life, that same kind of concept that I just described. So there's lots of people out there that need some help, and I want to be that guy. I want to be that person to help them navigate. I want to be that person to really go the extra mile for my audience. And we always talk about that extra mile thing. I mean, it's so cliche to say that, go the extra mile. At that point, you really have to ask yourself, well, what is the extra mile, and what does it mean to you? Because I guarantee you, extra mile for me means something totally different than your perception of that. And that's just really keeping your foot on the gas pedal. That's how you go the extra mile. Keep your foot on the gas pedal, and you will get there. Never give up, and you will get there. Stay focused, and you will get there. And like I said, I think you need people like myself with that kind of experience. I can drive that home and really be of great influence to those individuals that really need that. And even that being said, there are other people that have been in the game of motivation much longer than me. They've been in the in the on the internet, doing this much longer than me. I believe there's something that we can learn from everybody, from anybody, from the people that are over there sitting on that park bench next to us. I'm sure that lady over there's has a golden story, of the golden years, of the things that she's been through. These young ladies that are walking over here, same thing. They've got stories of things that they've experienced. So there's something that you can learn from everyone. Take that home today after you see this video too, and take that with take that in full stride. Anytime you have an opportunity to talk to somebody, no matter what you think, if you think you're the greatest judgment of character, or you're just judging people off of appearance, I guarantee it that there is something that you can learn from everybody, and I think that's something that's real critical to embrace, especially in this day and age, as the world is changing. The world has changed dramatically from the time I was a youngster up until today, where we're at right now. That's something that's just got to be taken with a grain of salt. You may not like it. You may not like it that the world has changed, and you always hear this from people. Well, back in my day, bottom line is that if you don't evolve, you're going to dissolve. And I know you've heard that. That same thing again. That sounds so cliche, but it is true. If you don't evolve, you're going to dissolve. You will get left behind, and nobody wants to get left behind. Nobody wants to feel that way. So I think it's more critical for us, more so now than ever, to really embrace these changes that are coming about, and just make sure that we do our best to stay equipped mentally, with the changes, so that way we can stay engaged with one another. Engagement's huge. That's another thing. A lot of people I really have lost the theory of engagement. If you ask somebody what engagement, we can go walk around this beach right now and ask everybody that we come across engagement. In fact, I challenge you to do it, Aaron. Just ask. You're a reporter. That's what you do. You ask somebody, what does engagement mean to you? And I guarantee you, a young lady over there is going to say, oh, it means an engagement ring. Or someone over here is going to say a meeting engagement. I don't know. But anyhow, what my take on that, obviously, is that us staying engaged with each other, that really does improve the world. Those are where world improvements are made, with human beings staying engaged with one another, and not having the mentality that if something's different, or we are different, like Aaron, like you and I are different. All of us are different. Like no one of us think the same, Aaron. We basically cannot. We can't do business together. We can't be friends. We don't need to talk to each other. And that right there is that's a shame. That's too bad. In a world that is so multicultural and so diverse, bottom line is, like, we all got to live here together. We have to learn to get along. We have to accept each other for who we are. And I think that's really critical. Making sure that we go along the lines of accepting things. You may not like my stance, or I may not like yours, but bottom line is that's your opinion, and I have to respect it. I have to accept it. That's just the way it is. So anyhow, going back to the mission and the goal and that sort of thing. I think I made it pretty much clear that my intent is to make good out of every situation that I can, and teach people, to do that as well. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying my way is the way, and everybody should live like this, and this is and we should all do what James Merrifield says. But when I do speak, I speak based off of my personal experiences, and I think that information is extremely valuable, to today's consumer.
Okay, so then James, what is your why? Like, why do you feel that you need to help so many people?
I think that if you ask me what my biggest why, and why I want to help so many people, like why, am I doing this? I think I'd have to tell you, Aaron, that I really do know what it feels like to not have a solid somebody in your corner. I really know what it feels like, Aaron, to be left out in the cold and feel very alone. And I gotta tell you, that's probably one of the absolute worst feelings that anybody can feel. Growing up as a youth, like as far as I've been old enough to remember, since the age of about 4 or 5 years old, I can still remember things as if they were like it was yesterday. And I grew up very insecure. I felt very different, and I still feel very different to this day. I still feel very different to the effect that I just don't fit in. Like I just don't. I'm definitely a unique individual. I am my own individual. Like I don't do something because, or basically do something because I want to be like somebody else. I want to copy somebody else, or that sort of thing. I mean, I just like I said, I'm a different animal. I'm a different individual, and it stems back from being young. I grew up in a house, where there was a lot of alcohol abuse, a lot of violence, and that right there as a youth, it's good enough to traumatize any kid, But I really did feel really insecure about that growing up. I was also exposed to the drugs and that sort of thing. And we're not just talking about a little pot smoker, that kind of thing. A little bit of alcohol. I mean, we're talking about people that went all the way with the drugs. They went all the way with the drugs, and they were people that were close to me, people that I knew for since I was a little boy that grew up, that eventually consumed their lives and it killed them. So I always grew up with basically learning off of other people's mistakes. You don't have to make mistakes all on your own, but if you look at the examples that are going on around you, it's real easy to spot mistakes. Unfortunately, as a society, that's what we do. We look for the negatives. We look for some of the things that went wrong. Well, you can take those wrongs and really turn them into a right. And I really feel like that's one thing that I did in my life, and that's one thing that helped me to be so successful in my with my parenting, with my being a dedicated husband, with helping out in the community, with mentoring and coaching my employees. Really just using those life experiences and using those things to teach them and coach them and help them to help them to not feel so alone, help them to not feel like they're all alone. And in this day and age too, is a different animal. It's a whole new different animal now, Aaron. I mean, you see the things that the kids go through and the change of trend and the change of basically just the whole entire change of life. The world has definitely changed, and things are a lot more different now than when I was growing up as a kid. And no matter how technologically advanced things are now, the bottom line is, like, people are still people. People are not computers. Like, you cannot just navigate a human being like you can jump on that computer, and navigate that computer. Like, people need direction. People need guidance. People need help. People need to have difference makers like myself step up and be willing to do the part, play the part and play the role in their lives. I mean, to help them, to stay inspired, help them to stay engaged, just like we talked about, staying engaged with their goals, staying engaged with the things that are important to them in life, staying engaged with the learning lessons. I mean, there are going to be many learning lessons in life, many. We're constantly learning. I'm learning every day. I can honestly say that, I learn every single day. It is my focal point. It is one of my main focal points to learn something new every day. And I'm that kind of individual. If I feel like I'm not learning something every day, I don't feel right. If I didn't make any progress today, I don't feel right. If I didn't move forward for the day, I do not feel right. Because if you're not moving forward, well, you're either staying stagnant in one place, or even worse, you're moving backwards. And for anybody who who wants to have some progress, and for anybody who wants to do good things in their life, they have to understand that every single day has really got to be focused on that, that getting 1% better every day. You set some goals, and people, the reason why they don't achieve them is because they really do set these unrealistic goals and don't really have a game plan as far as getting to those goals and accomplishing those goals. And if you'd find that if you just focused on getting better by 1% every single day, that's basically crawling. That's crawling. That's one of the best return of investments that you can possibly give yourself. I mean, that's 365 return of investment. 365% a year annually if you focused every single day on just doing a little bit at a time and not just trying to take on the whole world by yourself. I think in this day and age, like, we really need each other more than ever. I believe heavily in the theory of team in the workplace, team at home. I mean, team in my personal life, because the bottom line is that you can't do, especially if you hope to achieve big things in your life, And even at that point, it doesn't have to be like a big thing. It doesn't have to be, like you see in the Instagram post and in the pages where you have the airplane. Everybody has a G4 in the background next to their Lamborghini and their Rolex watch. I'm not talking about that kind of lifestyle. I mean, if that basically is what defines you, and if that's what brings you happiness, so be it. We're all different. I'm talking about basically just helping people navigate, their way through life, and help them navigate, to accomplishing those goals and building and establishing better relationships, not only in their workplaces but in their homes. Because I believe that, those of us that are in a position of leadership, we have to, we play a vital part and a vital role, in helping people to really get to the next level, And then what happens when you reach the next level? There's always going to be there's always going to be a higher mountain to climb, But with the right coaching, and the right guidance and the right people in your lives, those things will definitely be much more attainable. So I mean, as far as when you talk about like why do I feel like it's me, I feel like I could have went anywhere in life. We can sit here and talk about my background all day. We can sit here and talk about where I came from, what I've seen, and that sort of thing, all day long. And like I said, I could have been anywhere. I'm here right now.
James, thank you again for taking the time out of your day to come and talk with me. Hopefully you had fun. I had fun. So thank you, man.
Well, Aaron, you are very welcome. The pleasure was all mine. I really enjoy this kind of setting. I really enjoy talking to people, and I just like what you said. I mean, I can talk all day, and I'm sure you can sit there and listen. But thank you for coming down, making out this way, and I appreciate it, man. Thanks again, Aaron.
Thank you, man.
All right, brother.
Have a good
day. If self-improvement is what it is that you're looking for, this is the kind of content that you want to be tuned into.